আমরা সবাই বলছি, এবং আপনারাও আজকে সকাল থেকেই যখন আমাদের অন্যতম পার্টনার প্যান সিডসের যখন এখানে চলছিল, প্রত্যেকেই সেটা বলছেন যে আমরা যারা এখানে এফপিওরা কাজ করছি তাদের কেন ক্লাইমেট রেজিলিয়েন্ট ইনপুটস ব্যবহার করা দরকার। আমাদের এই সেশনে যারা রয়েছেন, আই উইল রিকোয়েস্ট, the session will be moderated by Mr. Srinivasa Kumar Karavadi, who is the advising partner of INERA. Mr. Karavadi will moderate the next session, and I will invite Dr. P.K. Chakravarti, former member who is the former ADG of ICAR, Dr. Joyanto Torofdar, Professor, Department of Plant Pathology, Bidhan Chandra Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, Mr. Shashank Somani, who is the co-founder of Mitro Sena, and Mr. Rajiv Mandal, who is the CEO of Arogya Medisoft Solution. I will request our moderator and all the distinguished speakers, panelists to be kindly on the dais. And I will request the moderator, Mr. Srinivas Kumar Karavadi, to kindly, to kindly wrap up the session by 4 o'clock, kindly, because 4:10, because many of our people, they will go far away from here. So I would like to request you to kindly be very brief and precise. Please come on the dais. I request all our guests, speakers, to kindly come on the dais, please. We are trying to finish this session in 35-40 minutes, so please bear with us.
Yeah, good afternoon. Language বাংলা আমি এতটুকু বাংলা বলতে পারি নাই, কিন্তু আমি একটু চেষ্টা করব বাংলায় কথা বলার জন্য। So I'm very honored to be on this platform to interact with the experts on especially very important topic. এটা খুবই গুরুত্বপূর্ণ টপিক হচ্ছে জলবায়ু পরিবর্তন হচ্ছে, তাদের নিয়ে ক্লাইমেট রেসিলিয়েন্টের ইনপুট হচ্ছে, এই যে কতটুকু ইম্পর্টেন্ট, আর ওখানে কী কী চ্যালেঞ্জ হচ্ছে ওটা নিয়ে কিছুটা আলোচনা করি। সো টু স্টার্ট উইথ this session, the common question which we wanted to put that to all of, as I discussed, like this is a common question for all of you, the panelists, so maybe we can start with, from your area of expertise, what do you consider one single most important innovation that is going to be helpful for the farmer under this, climate change? Maybe we can start with Jayant Tarafdar Sahib, maybe you can start with your first.
Yeah, everyone, that is climate is ever changing. It is not now a new situation is that we are facing every day. So agriculture globally is the most important, this is a backbone of our livelihood. So whatever the change and the relationship with the agriculture and the environment is very close. As any component of this biological system. তো আমি একটু বাংলা অনেকে বলেছিল রিকোয়েস্ট করতে, বাংলা ইংরাজি মিশিয়ে বলছি। So Bengal is a versatility is in the in the geographically you can get this seashore and its altitude high 10,000 feet in the Darjeeling hills, even in the dry track. but still it is a part of the tropical humid climate. And in this scenario, we have a lots of diversity in the crops. Rice, আমাদের তো রয়েছে জানেন ধানটা হয়, বাট সবচেয়ে ইম্পর্টেন্ট পার্ট হচ্ছে একটা হচ্ছে আমাদের হর্টিকালচার ক্রপস, ভেজিটেবলস, very important. UP and Bengal both are going parallelly, the highest production. And another part আমাদের এখানে রয়েছে এক্সট্রা কিছু ক্রপ, ক্যাশ ক্রপ, যেগুলো হচ্ছে জুট একটা আমাদের এক্সট্রা আছে, তার সঙ্গে সঙ্গে রয়েছে টি, চা রয়েছে, দার্জিলিং পার্টস. সো ইট ইজ এ হিউজ ভার্সিটালিটি ইন দ্য ক্লাইমেট, সয়েল অ্যান্ড ডাইভার্সিটি ইন দ্য ক্রপস. পাশাপাশি আমাদের আরও অনেক নতুন নতুন ক্রপ ইন্ট্রোডিউস হচ্ছে. তো একটা জিনিস বলার ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট থিং নাও এ ডেজ, কিছু কিছু ডিজিজ বা ইনসেক্ট পেস্ট যেগুলো মেজর প্রবলেম ফার্মাররা ফেস করে, দ্যাট ইজ ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট. টাইম টু টাইম সেটাকে মনিটরিং করা, কী ধরনের পেস্ট এবং ডিজিজ ইনক্রিজ হচ্ছে, তাদের পপুলেশন কীভাবে বাড়ছে বা তাদের সিভিয়ারিটি অ্যান্ড ক্রপ লস, দ্যাট ইজ ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট পার্ট. অ্যাকর্ডিংলি আমাদের সেভাবে স্টেপ নিতে হবে ইন ব্যালেন্সড ওয়েতে টু কিপিং দ্য এনভায়রনমেন্ট ক্লিন. কারণ আমরা পাশাপাশি যেমন বিভিন্ন বায়োলজিক্যাল সিস্টেম, বায়োকন্ট্রোল এজেন্টস, বায়োফার্টিলাইজার, বায়োস্টিমুল্যান্টস, ফাঙ্গিসাইডস, ইনসেক্টিসাইড, so many other pesticides groups are there, even some ন্যাচারাল ফার্মিং সিস্টেম, অর্গানিক সিস্টেম. সো আমাদের এটাকে ব্যালেন্স করে করলে তবেই কিন্তু সাস্টেনেবল এগ্রিকালচার, যেটা আমরা আমাদের লক্ষ্য ফিউচার, সেটা কিন্তু পাবো. আদারওয়াইজ ভেরি ডিফিকাল্ট. ইফ ইউ পুট মোর অর্গানিক্স, we cannot get any result. If we go more biologicals, we will not get any result. But if we give more chemicals, not. But we have to balance it in a sustainable way, to in more rationally, to check the disease-based incidents and reduce this crop loss. And as a whole, in all the crops, not only the field crops, in the horticulture crops and the plantation crops. So I think in future I will discuss more about this one. Thank you.
So Chakravarti ji, what do you think that one innovation that should actually help farmers in coming 5 to 10 years?
Thank you, Srini. If I were to identify one simple integration which has to be done for climate resilient agriculture, for strengthening climate resilient agriculture, I would suggest to establish integrated plant health management system with digitized decision support system for farmers. So that is very important, because why? There are two reasons. It has been studied that 97% of all pests and diseases which are coming, and more so during climate change which is happening, it is due to invasive pests. These pests were never present in the country, but they have been introduced into the country through our imports or through other means, and climate change is making these pathogens or pests which might be coming from temperate regions of the country, and now they are surviving in the warmer conditions. So that is one single thing. And second, why we need is a public-private partnership, or this innovation and partnership. This is the second thing which is very much needed, because everything is happening in our country in fragmentation. Technologies are there, but what happens when climate change is increasing or inducing the vulnerability? The farmers should have AI-enabled decision-making system. He should be knowing what are the pesticide or precision application technology available, where are the biological inputs or where are the chemical inputs which are available, and there should have a hand-holding by the stakeholders, like scientists, industries, researchers, and everybody, so that there should be a seamless coordination, and farmers should be knowing that what they have to use. One, they have to anticipate when a pest and disease will be coming, and so that he should be ready with all the paraphernalia and means adequate amount of plant protection measures and gears and gadgets. So that is the one single integration thing which
Yeah.
I would like to have.
No, that's very interesting. So now on a tech front and on an input front, I think you two are actually contributing very nicely here. So maybe you can continue with what do you think মানে ওই একটা ইনোভেশনটা কি হবে আগামী 5 থেকে 10 বছরে যে কৃষকের জন্য এই জলবায়ু পরিবর্তনের সময়?
Hello. Yeah, thanks for the question. So, in our opinion, in my specific opinion, the idea would be to improve soil biology because a farmer's first resilient point is the soil. So, how do we increase the biology where we can, while we may not be able to handle all climate shocks, but can we make it resistant enough that the entire plantation system can absorb a lot of that shock? So that can only be done by doing a lot of biological input control and improving the biology by introducing diverse types of microbes into the soil. One of the current problems is the cost is too high. When we talk about northeastern and eastern states, the climatic conditions also vary a lot. There's a lot of rain, the acidic soils in Assam. So one key solution cannot be applicable across different regions of the same state. So there has to be a dedicated access for, like sir was also pointing out, for people to know what kind of solutions to use, which biological input is going to work in what way for the specific crop, and make it affordable. The current systems are optimized for possibly a research-based input cycle. But because the on-farm experience is very different, where a lot of different chemicals have been used, different climatic stresses are there, how we can improve the soil biology so that the plants can handle a lot of biotic and abiotic stress on their own. So decreasing the cost of biological inputs in order to increase the soil biology, that's going to be the change maker for the next 5 years.
That's great. So Rajiv ji.
Good afternoon. For me, I think the next biggest intervention that is required, which can change the climate resilient input scenario, is democratizing the farm decision system. Like we have the soil health solutions at the lab, we have the decision makers in the lab, but reaching them to the ground level or doing it at the farm gate is crucial, because selecting the right input at the right time and the right place is the key to prevent the save our crops from the climate resilient system. So what we need is a platform or a system which can do the soil testing at the farm gate, soil testing or plant stress testing, or say the pesticide residues or other things at the farm gate itself. And from there, the decision system also has to come, or actionable decision has to come to the farmers at that place itself through a internet. So that is what I think will be a game changer and will be required in coming 1 decade.
No, lovely. I think with 30 minutes, so much of input, probably definitely we are not going to be able to do justice, but let us try to put things more in a perspective very quickly, because technology, then biological inputs, new pests and diseases, a lot of things are shaping up. So my question to Dr. Chakravarti, how a regulatory system that can work with, to develop in India, because new solutions have to come faster. They should be safer to farmer, they should be safer to environment. How do you suggest you build a quick to market or quick to the customer solutions be developed and under the new proposed regulatory framework that you might propose?
Yeah, what I would like to say is that India at this moment needs a science-based, predictable and time-bound regulatory framework that safeguards human health and environment health as well. Why I am telling is that regulatory decisions should be risk-based, because in many countries what they are doing is they are introducing hazard-based regulatory assessment for risk assessment, but it should be risk-based assessment which the majority of the world, which WHO prescribes, so that should be done. And one thing I would like to say that pesticides, like how this is happening. Now, India is a country where pesticide regulation takes one of the longest period. Although if you see Insecticide Act, it prescribes that if a application is submitted with all the requirements completed, it should be disposed of within 1 year. But it never takes before 3 to 7 years. So it is a long drawn process. So we need to be very pragmatic on that. And those kind of things should be settled very quickly. There are certain there are certain other issues which are happening. The risk-based assessment should be done, and also the regulatory policies like timelines for pesticide registration should be resolved. Pesticides are indispensable arsenals in the hands of farmers, and recently what happened that they should not be disabling, policies should not be disabling. I myself was a ADG in plant protection. I have been seeing that for registration many things happen, but we sometimes becomes over cautious. So like what is happening in the state, recently there have been news regarding the lot of presence of some kind of pesticide residues on tea, which is again affecting the small tea growers, and the industries have been asked not to accept those teas for processing and by the industry unless they are tested for some simple pesticides which have long been experienced use has been there, and lot of MRLs have also been developed. But then there are certain rigid policies that unless a Food Safety Standard Authority of India, though these technologies are already approved for use, but MRLs have also been known, but unless Food Safety Standards Authority of India, it publishes it in gazette notification, many of these pesticides, imidacloprid, abamectin, and few of them, 6 of these which are available, for which MRLs have long been done. But FSSAI needs to be geared up to, Government of India need to realize this situation. After all, this is country's loss which is happening. And few of the other imbroglios which are happening, like in case of protein hydrolyzed based biostimulant. Biostimulant is another technology which has recently been regulated by Government of India. Fortunately, I was one of the members on this development of biostimulant guidelines, which when Government of India, I was chairman on that subcommittee. And when we made, now suddenly last, during Durga Puja time or Navaratri in North India, we say, Government of India, suddenly there were some 20-25 protein hydrolase lysate based biostimulators. They discontinued use of animal based protein hydrolysate. Some 11 animal based protein hydrolysate was removed, and then ultimately, but ultimately if you see protein hydrolysates are what they have, they are amino acid which are there, whether it's of animal origin, humus or humic acid, animal when they die, they also finally lead to protein hydrolysate in the soil, humus they generate. And protein hydrolysate either of animal origin or protein, they are amino acid, the same amino acid, nobody can differentiate. So such kind of things should be there, and some other technology like GM technologies which have long been tested, but our country should become little widely accepting the technologies, because as per UNFCCC, see, there is a framework convention on climate change. It says in India, any of the technology, if there are 100 technologies, hardly 5% of the technologies are ready for seeing light of the day. That means we do not have much of the policies which are amenable for the technology to go to the field. So such kind of things needs to be regularized. They needs to be harmonized. There are other some issues because I think this is the last question what you suggest.
No, no.
One more point I would like to say is that there should be one nation, one license policy. Now, everywhere ease of doing business, government has made it a rule. So, suppose a biostimulant is approved by the central government, because ultimately it is a central sector thing, and when it is approved by Government of India in INM, in Ministry of Agriculture, then again it has to get another license in the state when it goes. And biostimulant is a technology which is neither a pesticide, nor it's a toxic, nor it's a source of nutrition. It's something like a immunizer. It is something, is a stimulant which stimulates the plant innate immunity or innate biochemical mechanism to make it produce more of the plant, more of the produce. So why again a toxicology, when a product is not toxic, again it has to go to the license, because lots of gray areas remain there. Again, the same technology which is otherwise potential, approved by central government, state government again takes a lot of, they put layers which takes time for the this kind of technology to be implemented. Data protection is another point which is, because if a new technology has to come, every industry would like that there has to, because they spend a lot of money to bring a new technology into the country. So, in India is one of the countries where no data protection is there. Once a pesticide is registered, next day, unless it is under IPR regime or patent regime, the second person, one industry might have spent 2 crores, 3 crores for bringing one pesticide into the country, a new molecule into the country. The other country is free to, another company can use it next day. They can, so data protection is not there, where the provisions for data protection is there in the US for 10 years, both for human drug as well as plant medicine, plant drug. So these kind of things we should have some kind of, and one other, maybe one of the points which we would like to say is that one of the biggest reform which we need is the greater trust and collaboration. Because we say a technology is, innovation is done in the institute, an industry, it converts it into a solution, a policy maker makes it, facilitates or develops some guidelines to go to the field, and then a startup makes the digital technology for it to be. So technology is available, but they are fragmented. They are being generated in silos. Nobody knows how to use that seamless. There should be a seamless flow and information of those technology which are coming. And one and last point here I would like to say is the rampant presence of a gray area, like in the case of biologicals. It is about, not recently, in 2021, in Karnataka, 250 samples of so-called biostimulants or biologicals were withdrawn from the field, and all the 250 the samples were found to be laced with pesticides. So, such kind of, there should be a strict punitive measure for those kind of things. Similarly, there are about 20 to 25% of market. Biologicals are more, because biologicals, it is very difficult to identify the microbes under the microscope, and then a lot of other studies, whereas chemical, it is there, again it is 20 to 30%. So there should be strict punitive measures which has to be brought into the system, because unless that is there, if 30% of the farmers are using spurious kind of pesticides, which they are buying, but that is not of any consequence, rather they can cause health concerns and other things, and also their produce is not getting protected. That is a mere waste. So these kind of safeguards have to be developed in the stakeholder system for guidelines and regulatory measures. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Kruti. So Shashank, you are actually driving bio-imports. Climate resilience is something which we are talking about. So can you please tell us what you are doing and how you are actually contributing to this, especially on your biological side? So please tell us your story around that.
Right. So our insight when we were starting up, my sister was having a kid. The idea was that while he or us, we may never enter a farm, the farm ends up entering our bodies. So whatever chemicals are being used, whether these are licensed chemicals or because of the abuse of chemicals, a lot of unlicensed, banned chemicals are also used at times. How we can curtail that? And we realized with all our conversations that biologicals have a long way to go, and people have experienced the benefits in multiple countries. The problem in India has been there's no reliability of it. The cost is too high, and then more importantly, a lot of times you end up buying and you are not getting any results from that. So there are two reasons. One, while manufacturers solve for good quality, but the problem is in the transportation of the entire thing. So something that's manufactured today may end up being used 9 months, 10 months later, gets transported, stored to different weather conditions. And these are living organisms, may not last. What we decided was, can we decentralize the manufacturing, allow you to manufacture biofertilizers and biopesticides on farm? And can this be cheaper, where the right amount of dosages for your soil conditions can be achieved? So we created a smart fermenter called MicroMagic, which can be operated by any unskilled labor also. This can be placed right at the farm. You do not have to worry about the biology of it, because that is maintained by us at our lab. We send you a kit, you basically have to use our machine, and every 4 days you can get 600 liters of product. Now the idea here is that, one, you get fresher products, you get advantages of different types of secondary metabolites and different biological properties that these fungus or bacteria exhibit during the process of fermentation. And it's almost 80 to 90% cheaper than buying it off shelf. So one of the bigger reasons farmers do not trust is also they think everything is being sold to them by dealers. But getting it manufactured on site, manufacturing on their own, that goes a long way. And yeah, I mean, a lot of good help is being done by the government. We have associated with NIPHM. They help us train farmers on which biological strains to use, how it works, the science of it. We obviously have to work a lot on the misinformation that has been spread that biologicals can work as good as chemicals. It cannot. Long-term effect, yes, it will be there. Eventually, with intelligence, chemicals can be reduced. But on a shorter term, if there's a severe incidence, biologicals will take a lot of time to work. So the information has to be given to the farmers that there are specific scenarios where chemical interference is required, and there are chemicals, there's no substitutes with biologicals, so you have to keep using that, because eventually it's not just for consumption, it's also for financial decision making by the farmers itself. But yeah, the idea would be on a longer term to reduce the chemical incidences.
That's great. So Rajiv ji, then how your work is actually influencing this, how you are actually, helping in terms of dealing with this climate resilience, and how your technology is actually helping them.
So, as I was saying earlier, that today the only data is not enough. Like, what you need is a decision system, and the farmers need the decision. They need a direction that they have to act according to this way, or they have to do these things. So what we did was, we have made devices which collect real-time data at the ground level, connected those devices to a platform which at the back end is supported by an AI, and that AI generates a decision or a advisory, which is then, like, AI advisory is not directly given to the farmer. It is intervened by an agronomist and then passed on to the farmer. So with this system, we had been working for past 10 years for developing and implementing this system, and last 5 years on the ground the system is working. We have almost around 250 plus centers across India, which is collecting data and feeding into the system, and it's generating the advisory accordingly. And the decisions that are given out are very hyper-local. personalized data for that particular farmer or that particular plot of farmer with the choice of crop that he has made. So this way what happens is the farmer, before they get into the cultivation, they know their soil condition, they know what kind of inputs they have to plan for and how much they have to plan for. This is already there, predictive, and this is already fed to the farmer, given decisions have been transmitted to the farmer. So thereby the excess use is reduced, and that in fact helps in climate mitigation. Second thing is, when the plant stress grows, we have devices for detecting those plant stresses, and like the chlorophyll contents and the nitrogen and magnesium content in the leaf. So those things gives you the idea of what way you have to intervene out there, what kind of medicines or inputs that you have to give. So when you know how much and what amount you have to give, where you have to give, then the excess is not there in the environment, and that helps in climate mitigation. That's how we are doing it. We are building a future which is predictive, actionable, and very hyper-local.
Yeah.
And we are also doing it in a very collective way with all the connected devices.
So, Tarfdar, so academia, and there are a lot of new pest diseases are coming up. So, at a institutional level, are you focusing on building any alert systems, because new viruses, new vector, a lot of change is happening because of this climate change. So, maybe if you can help us understand.
Well, as we have been doing at a lots of program, taking that one to data generation based on that one pest and disease incidents. This is very important. And another part is that one that turning this agriculture data into the action. That is lacking. So whatever all the stakeholders, institutes, SAUs and academia, we are taking the data continuously, the incidence pattern of the several pest and diseases, especially new diseases. Recently lots of minor diseases are there is becoming a major disease due to the climate change. And not only that, diversified crops pattern. And as you know, recently we have identified that one in Binjal is a very popular and important crop in Bengal. বেগুনের এখন আমরা যেটা সার্ভে করেছি আপনারা জানবেন যে সমস্ত ডিস্ট্রিক্ট, every district they have this infection of the virus, that and severe form. So anyway, we have diagnosed this disease, and next generation sequencing, recent technologies we have applied, and we got that virus. It has come from the Thailand and Myanmar. And Kanchanaburi tomato yellow leaf curl virus now infecting the brinjal. That we have to take care of that one, which type of new diseases, new pathogens and insects are coming, enter into our country when we go for the diversify the crops. We are planning to go for the dragon fruits. We are going to plant the grapes in Bakra, some parts. So we don't know which type of new insect, new disease will come in that new cropping system. So we have to be very careful about that one. And another important part are then already discussed on the biologicals. So we can get not the consistent result of controlling or management of the pest and disease using the biological alone, because when you use the biological, because it is against another biological system, all the biological system we have the protective system. So that's why we have to take care of the adjuvant we have been using, which type of adjuvant, which type of species we are using in the biological system. And that is very important. And you know that trichoderma is very popular for controlling the disease. We are bringing some trichoderma species from Karnataka, some Tamil Nadu, and some other places to Bankura and Purulia. But very strange is that how it will survive in Purulia and Bankura. Their soil system is there, and soil already they have the trichoderma and other biologicals. There is a strong competition in between. So we have to take care of that one when we use these biologicals, and we have to be very rational. And in hot condition. Another part is important nowadays. The new disease is coming up, and not only the disease, many of the system now climate change. Plant is suffering from the abiotic stresses, especially in the coastal area, salt stress and dry track in the heat stress. So we have been using the biostimulants. So that is very important part of that one in coming agriculture system because it is in case of abiotic stress, biostimulant is very, very important. But we have to keep in mind, very important is that overuse of any nitrogen. Suppose if you use more nitrogen, more pest will come because it increases the plant sub pH. So aphid besi asa mane apni besi insecticide use korben. So we have to use the balance. Even the biostimulant, if you use more biostimulant, if you the free amino acids, pure amino acids means all the insects they get the free amino acid for their survivability, their flight activity, nervous system, all these things. That's why everything, whatever new disease or pest we have to check in the field and data collection, and accordingly we have to take the care how we will go for the integrated system to overall the plant health management system in all the concept. Thank you.
Sure. So thank you, panelists. I think the time is, is something which is stopping us here. So thank you very much for all your inputs. To summarize, it is very important. So thank you, and over to Abhijit. Yeah.
Thank you all the dignitaries upon the dais. I would like to request Dr. P.K. Chakraborty to hand over the mementos to Mr. Srinivas Kumar Karavadi, advising partner in ERA. I'll request my colleague to hand over the memento to Dr. P.K. Chakraborty, who will hand it over to Mr. Srinivasa Kumar Karavadi. Now I would request Dr. Chakraborty to hand over the memento to Dr. Joyanto Tarofdar, Professor, Department of Plant Pathology, BCKV. I would also request Dr. Chakraborty to hand over the memento to Mr. Shashank Somani, co-founder, Mitra Sena. Thank you. Now I would request Dr. Chakraborty to hand over the memento to Mr. Rajiv Mondol, CEO, Aragyam Medisoft Solution.